Having mastery over your mind is essential for your growth and success. The first step to build a successful business and to live a happy life is to start with the right mindset and perspectives that will make you unshakable. Here are 7 Stoic practices to ensure you have the right mental blueprint for your success, just like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius himself. Welcome back to the best YouTube channel in educating and inspiring you to riches. We are passionate about empowering you with the best financial knowledge, enabling you to take care of your family and pursue your dreams without any hiccups. Be sure to subscribe today and stay up to date with the best ways to do so. Now, let's get right into the video.
Choose a master whose life, conversation, and soul-expressing face have satisfied you, for we must indeed have someone according to whom we may regulate our characters. You can never straighten that which is crooked unless you use a ruler.
The story of Stoicism begins with misfortune. Zeno was shipwrecked and washed up in Athens. Zeno joked, "Now that I've suffered shipwreck, I'm on a good journey." Crates, a well-known Athenian philosopher, happened to be passing by. The bookseller simply extended his hand and pointed. Nearly all of the ancient Stoics had a formative mentor, living or dead. Cleanthes had Zeno, Cato had Sarpedon, Seneca had Attalus, Epictetus had Musonius Rufus. Marcus Aurelius had Rusticus, who turned him on to Epictetus.
The chief task in life is simply this, to identify in separate matters, where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself.
Epictetus' most powerful insight as a teacher derives directly from his experiences as a slave. Almost from the moment he was born, Epictetus was reminded daily how little control he had, even of his own person. He adopted this lesson into what he described as our chief task in life. What is up to us is what was so central to Epictetus' survival as a slave. Our attitudes, our emotions, our wants, our desires. Our opinions about what happened to us. "You can bind up my leg," Epictetus would say. Indeed, his leg really had been bound and broken, but not even Zeus has the power to break my freedom of choice.
It never ceases to amaze me, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own.
If you want to improve, Epictetus said, if you want to achieve wisdom, you have to be okay with looking strange or even clueless from time to time. Epictetus tells us the story of the Stoic Agrippinus, who said we are all threads in a garment. Most people were happy conforming, being anonymous, handling their own tiny unsung role in the fabric. But to Agrippinus, this kind of compromise was inconceivable. Despite what everyone else was doing, Agrippinus refused to keep a low profile during Nero's reign, refused to conform or tamp down his independent thinking. "Why do this?" Agrippinus was asked. "Why not be like the rest of us?" "I want to be the red," he said, "that small and brilliant portion which causes the rest to appear comely and beautiful." Years later there would be a song by Alice in Chains, which would say in a nutshell what Agrippinus believed in his heart. Beautifully said, and a reminder to all of us today. Embrace who you really are, embrace what makes you unique.
Be wise and self-controlled, and share in courage and justice, the art by which a human would become good. We must do just that.
Courage, justice, temperance, wisdom. They are the most essential values in Stoicism. If, at some point in your life, Marcus Aurelius wrote, you should come across anything better than justice, truth, self-control, courage, it must be an extraordinary thing indeed. That was almost 20 centuries ago. We have discovered a lot of things since then. Automobiles, the internet, cures for diseases that were previously a death sentence, but have we found anything better? No, we have not. It's unlikely we ever will. So memorize those 4 virtues. Keep them close to your heart and hand always. Act on them. Live them. Tell everyone you meet about them.
To do harm is to do yourself harm. To do an injustice is to do yourself an injustice, it degrades you.
Shakespeare, the great observer of the Stoics, said that the good we do in life is easily forgotten, but the evil we do lives on and on. No Stoic philosopher illustrates this principle more than Diotimus. Diotimus, a Greek philosopher, was accused of defaming his rival Epicurus in a series of letters. He forged dozens and dozens of letters that framed the rival philosopher Epicurus as a sinful glutton and depraved maniac. It was an act of despicable philosophical slander, and he was quickly brought up on charges. Seneca, who writes about all sorts of philosophers, never mentions Diotimus's incident in his surviving works. Musonius Rufus best captured the prevailing lesson when he said, "If you accomplish something good with hard work, the labor passes quickly, but the good endures. If you do something shameful in pursuit of pleasure, the pleasure passes quickly, but the same endures."
No one can implicate me in ugliness. Nor can I feel angry at my relative, or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are obstructions.
Cato was a Stoic who refused to give an inch in the face of pressure. Cato, one of the most vaunted and towering Stoics, built a reputation and a career out of his refusal to give up. He refused political compromise in every form, to the point that those who did turned his name into an aphorism. We can't all be Catos. But Cato's inflexibility did not always best serve the public good. When Pompey, one of Rome's greatest generals and political forces, returned to Rome from his foreign conquests, he felt out potential alliances with Cato. The two had tangled in the past. So when Pompey proposed a marriage alliance either with Cato's niece or daughter, Cato dismissed it and dismissed it rudely. "Go and tell Pompey," he instructed the go-between, "that Cato is not to be captured by way of the women's apartments." In so rejecting the alliance, Cato drove the powerful Pompey into an alliance with Caesar instead, who promptly married his daughter Julia to Pompey. United and unstoppable, the two men would soon overturn centuries of constitutional precedent. For Cato, to compromise, to play politics with the bedrock laws of his nation at stake, would have been moral capitulation. But this all-or-nothing strategy ended in crushing defeat. Indeed, no one did more than Cato to rage against his republic's fall.
Were all the geniuses of history to focus on this single theme, they could never fully express their bafflement at the darkness of the human mind. No person hands out their money to passers-by, but to how many do each of us hand out our lives? We're tight-fisted with property and money, yet think too little of wasting time, the one thing about which we should all be the toughest misers.
Born with a chronic illness that loomed large throughout his life, Seneca was constantly thinking about and writing about the final act of life. "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life," he said. "Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time." Most interestingly, he quibbled with the idea that death was something that lay ahead of us in the uncertain future. "This is our big mistake," Seneca wrote, "to think we look forward to death. Most of death is already gone. Whatever time has passed is owned by death." That was Seneca's great insight, that we are dying every day, and once dead, no one can be revived. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman general in the Roman Empire, wrote to his followers, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman." The key to this kind of concentration? Do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life, he said. That's the power of memento mori, of meditating on your mortality. It isn't about being morbid or making you scared. It's about giving you power. It's to inspire, to motivate, to clarify, to concentrate like a Roman on the thing in front of you. Because it may well be the last thing you do in your life. The Stoics were philosophers, but more than that, they were doers. They didn't have room for big words or big ideas, just stuff that made you better right here, right now. As Marcus Aurelius said, justice, honesty, self-control, courage, don't make room for anything but it. For anything that might lead you astray, tempt you off the road, and leave you unable to devote yourself completely to achieving the goodness that is uniquely yours. Thank you for watching today's video. Be sure to subscribe today and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Remember, you are the best thing that has ever happened to this world.